Everyone, welcome back to another episode of Hippy Dippy Reviews an Anime. Now then, we're gonna do an anime review. I know it's gonna be tomorrow morning in the East Coast, but I want to get this done. I'm gonna start a new anime tomorrow. Um, so as I was saying, I'm also playing Naruto, but that's beside the point. I am going to review Mrs. Vampire, who lives around the neighborhood, who lives in the neighborhood. It's a good anime. Okay, it's decent. It's not great. It's not bad, but it doesn't explode you. First episode, it basically tells you what the characters are. Well, the two main characters. You got your vampire, who's actually acts like a human, normal human being, but she can't eat. But she does, however, she, as you can see through the title, she drinks blood from the fridge. She puts the blood in the fridge and she gets it. She gets the blood delivered to her fucking house, which makes how the fuck do you deliver your fucking blood? Why the fuck would people deliver blood to your fucking house? Are they fucking vampires too? I don't fucking get it. But anyway, sorry, a little rant there. The main. First off, I like to say this. The two main characters, the character, she doesn't want anything to do with the other main character, but the other main character wants her to suck her blood and she wants to marry the fucking vampire. What the fuck is wrong with this chick? At first, she's not scared of the fucking vampire. Neither of her friends are scared of the vampire. Her second friend's not scared of her vampire. She was for like a split second, but then she's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then they start having friends with him. The other chick, the other two friends, they're not really in the they're not really in the anime as much, but they are in the title, but they are in the anime. They're the other two friends. Like, for example, she wants to marry the vampire, and then her friend wants to marry her, which is kind of fucking funny actually, because they fight over it all over the place. Now then, with that being said, the main issue that I have is the two side characters. There's also a character that's also a side character that the vampire made friends with her. She's in her 50s, and she only bumps into her at late night because, the sun and stuff. Although however, she does go outside when the sun comes out, but she has to hide her stuff. I remember one scene in the earlier episodes where her umbrella blows away because of the wind, and the human puts a blanket over her head so that way she doesn't like get turned into ash. That's the other issue. But when it comes to the four characters that are humans, I already explained the other one is in the she wants to see UFOs and make talk to things that are not there, which is kind of fucking funny. And then the other girl is not really there as much as the other three. I mean, the one that likes the UFOs is she's in more scenes than the other girl, but the other girl she has a little sister that only shows up in like through 2 or 3 episodes. She's like doing her own thing. The four main characters though are the two girls that one girl that likes the main character, and the two vampires. Yes, there's another vampire. The first vampire is the silver haired girl who looks like a fucking doll, and she's the main character that falls in love with her. Which she wants her to get her blood sucked out from her, which is kind of fucking funny. The other vampire, she wants to suck people's blood, but the only problem with her is the fact that she only sucks the blood of her fucking vampire friend because she doesn't want to suck her friend's, the human's blood, which makes no fucking sense. With that being said, though, when it comes to that, good plot summary of the character development. All the characters get development except for the last character that I mentioned, that's a human. Every other character gets growth beyond time. They become friends and this, that, and the other thing. Soundtrack's kind of dull, but there are some pieces that I kind of enjoyed decently. So there's that. The theme song is kind of catchy, although it's gonna get stuck in my head now because I know what the fuck it is. Length of episode. The length of episode is pretty much 22 minutes long. But the funny thing is that when you watch the anime, if you finish it from beginning to end and you skip the credits, if you skip the credits and move on to the next episode because you don't like to watch the credits, and you're missing something at the very end. Because most of the episodes, especially at the episode 7, 8, 7 through 12, have an extra scene after the credits end. I didn't notice it until like they're starting the credits scene. There's like 10 minutes left, so what the fuck is going on? That was my fault. I went back and watched all the scenes after the credits, which kind of threw me off for a loop. Now then, when it comes to the plot, there's no villain, there's no nothing. There's one episode where there is a villain, but the villain is nowhere to be seen. The first 5 episodes, they're decent. They teach the vampires trying to cook and stuff and blah this and blah that. They're just trying to develop all the characters and what their personalities are and stuff like that. When it comes to episodes 6, 7, 8, I kind of got bored of it. I didn't really care. I lost track of my fucking time and stuff. But the main reason is the fact that I didn't want to watch it anymore because it was that fucking boring. Episode 9 was like a refresher because I think it was the episode of the no, it's not. It wasn't the episode of the vampire. Wasn't it? I don't know. I forget. But I think it was the episode of the vampire. Don't quote me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. But the vampire was the next episode. Vampire Hunter was there, and that kind of refreshed me because I thought there was going to be an evil plot where she became friends with the fucking vampire, even though she's a vampire hunter. She was like, whatever. And episode 10 got me right back into it because it was actually interesting. Now then, when it comes to the episodes, the cooking episode stood out because the fact of the matter is she can't fucking cook. She's a fucking vampire and all she knows is how to drink blood. But, however, she knows how to make rice balls, which that makes no fucking sense. She can make rice balls up the ass, kazoo, and she can also, drink blood. When it comes to the anime itself, the cooking episode was good. First off, when it comes to the length of the episode, I told you it was 23 minutes, but they break it up into 2 sections. The first section and the second section. They break it up into 2. It's like 13-minute episodes, and 13-minute episodes in one episode. There's 2 scenes. It's like fucking SpongeBob. They put like one episode and 2 episodes in 30 minutes, which is good. But the problem is, though, I got lost sometimes here and there because it is sub. There's no English dub. The main issue with the anime as a whole, though, is the lack of soundtrack and that. The thing is the fact that some episodes are better than others. I like episode 1 through 5. I mean, 5, 6, 7, 8 was the one where I was just like, I'm getting bored here. What the fuck am I doing with myself? I mean, I think that was the episodes where they went to see the fireworks. They went to do all this stuff for the festival and stuff because it was their summer break. And that's when I'm like, okay, I'm getting bored because I've already seen my fair share of animes where they go to a festival and stuff. Like the Caught Drifting Festival in Higurashi. The fucking Founders Festival from Collad. I've seen my fair share of festivals. And I was like, I was getting bored. Now then, the episode that stood out the fucking most was episode 11. That was like my favorite episode. Well, half of it anyway. The second half was okay, but the first half was fucking awesome. First off, the 11th episode starts out when she's trying to clean out her room because her room is full of stack of shit that she doesn't really need. The thing is the fact that when the girl has to go to school, she cleans up all night. She wakes up, she's still cleaning. Then she goes to school. She comes back, and then she calls her friend. Her friend calls, see if she was busy or not, and she is. So then she rushes over to help them clean up. So when they're starting to when they're about to clean up and stuff, they find a newspaper in English about the moon landing, which I thought was fucking awesome. That was like in the half, almost at the end of the scenes skit or whatever the fuck you call it. And the funny thing is that they make so many fucking video game references from episode 8 and beyond. Like episode 11, and the main reason why it stood out so much is because they make a they make they she's the vampire is 360 years old, so she's gonna have some old shit when they start cleaning. And the first thing that they saw was a Game Boy, of the original Game Boy. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Seriously, you have a it's like, what the fuck? You have a Game Boy. Fucking play it. She, by the way, the vampire likes anime. She likes to binge watch anime and watch anime series, which is kind of fucking funny because she always make references on school anime and stuff like that. I thought it was interesting. But she finds a fucking Game Boy. A fucking Game Boy. And they start playing the Game Boy. And the other girl tries to play with an old doll. I forget what it was because I was too busy looking at the Game Boy. And then later down the path, they reference Super Mario Bros. 2 and they start playing the fucking music of Super Mario Bros. 2. And that let my head up. Now then, when it comes to the video games, there's a fair share of video games in that episode. But I think it was episode 8 or 9 is the fact that the main reason why this anime caught me by surprise when it comes to its video games is the system that they first brought out when they started playing it. Usually when you think of Japan, that's Japanese anime, or anime in general, that has no English dub, you might think that it's gonna be a Sony console, like a PlayStation or a Nintendo console, because Sony and fucking Nintendo are very huge in Japan. But surprisingly, the system that they played the first time I saw the system, they were playing on an original Xbox or an Xbox 360. I don't know which, or an Xbox One. I don't know. The anime's pretty new. But the thing is, that caught me off guard because of the fact that Microsoft is not very popular in Japan. It really isn't. It doesn't sell very good in Japan. It sells good in the States because there's a lot of Xbox user who just want to play fucking Gears and fucking Halo. But I was off by God. They don't show any gameplay of it, but they do show the controller, and it looks like an Xbox. It looks like a fucking Xbox 360 controller or an Xbox controller. It's really weird. I didn't suspect that, but hey. When it comes to, like I said, the characters are good. The two main vampires, one's the other vampire likes the other vampire, and this, that, and the other thing. I think the 10th episode is when she gets sick. There's also a Halloween episode, a Christmas episode, like usual. Like usually anime does that. Ball Fairy does it mostly. I mean, most of the episodes are like every season of the fucking series. That's why I like Ball Fairy. But the main issue is that this anime is really good. I mean, it doesn't wow you like Rosalian plus a vampire. If you want to watch a good vampire anime, watch Rosalian plus a vampire. It'll knock your socks off. When it comes to characters that the main character is based off of fucking vampire, not a side character that's a vampire like Princess Reincarnation. But here's the thing, it's not as good. It's good enough to pass Karin, which is Karin, and the main reason why it beats it by like 3 animes is the fact that I thought it was better than that, but it slightly beats it because of the fact that there's stuff that I like about Karin, because that anime makes the main character give blood. This anime does not want to have the vampires suck blood. She just drinks it from the fucking refrigerator where she gets it from online. So yeah, that's the main issue, but it's not as terrible like Vampire Knight. I hate that fucking anime. That's a vampire, but I guarantee you that because of this anime, I'm gonna be watching a gaming anime next, whether it's a board game or whatever the fuck. And I'm gonna go back into watching vampire anime, which I kind of drift off after watching Vampire Knight because of that reason. I didn't want to watch any other vampire anime because of that reason. I mean, Shijiki isn't a vampire anime, but that was based more off a horror and it wasn't even that scary to be honest with you. I mean, seriously. At least at least this anime has the vampire that has red eyes and you can tell she's a vampire because she has red eyes. Shijiki, the vampires don't even have fucking eyes. Well, the main character doesn't have fucking eyes, which makes no goddamn sense. But yeah, it's better than Shishiki and Vampire Knight. It's up par, maybe slightly better than Kareem, but it's not as good as Rosalian plus a Vampire. When it comes to vampire animes, Rosalian plus a Vampire has the high bar when it comes to those animes. The other animes are like in between. But yeah, it gets a 7 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm going to try to review animes more depth and not talk about other animes unless I can make a reference to it or it's going to be like that. The next anime, I'm not going to tell you. It's probably going to be a video game anime or a board game anime. But I guarantee that's going to be the next review. Plus also the other anime I'm on. Before I go though, there's one other anime that I'd like to talk about. And that's Zombieland Sagas. This anime has tormented me throughout the years. I've watched 6 episodes and for some reason I keep watching it and then stopping it for like months on end. I don't know why. I just don't like it for some reason. I think it's because the fucking character that makes the zombies into idols is a fucking annoying asshole and I don't like him. But if I ever finish that anime, because I keep stopping, then I'm probably going to give it like a 5 or below. That's what happened to Pumpkin Scissors. I got so bored of Pumpkin Scissors that I gave it a 2 or 1 because of the fact that I got so fucking bored. Yeah, there are scenes that are badass and I love Pumpkin Scissors. For those badass moments, like a guy killing a guy that's Man versus Tank, where the guy only has a pistol, beats the tank up by shooting the guy in the face through the fucking middle. That's a badass moment. But other than that, though, I don't like Pumpkin Scissors because of that reason. This anime gets a 7 because of how long it took me, and the fact that I watched it. I completely went off a limb and watched it. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It's probably one of those animes that no one's ever heard about. But I hope you guys enjoyed the anime because it's really good. And I have a nice positive day, morning, afternoon, night, whatever the fuck time is this. I'm gonna go to bed here soon. And I hope you guys have a nice positive day. Later. Bye. Hippy dippy signing out, bitches. I'll have another anime review probably tomorrow or Wednesday. It won't be Thursday because I have to go see a friend's house. Later, peace.